Welcome to day 3. Technically, it could be day 4 because we launched on Wednesday. And we'll keep on saying that because it is special that special session that we had absolutely matters. So day 3 of Be the Shift. I hope you like my Star Wars inspired loops. I can't think of her name, but normally I would never come on here, but like that. But anyway, day 3. Hey, y'all, lead without labels, right? Lead without labels. And the question and the prompt for you to consider, how would I lead if no one would label me? How would I lead if no one would label me? You know, when we think about this, I talked about microaggressions, and there are so many microaggressions beyond the ones that we categorize around race. There can be microaggressions in your family and your friendships, but it is a known one that most of you can relate to in terms of the angry Black woman or being too woo-woo. One of our sisters talked about how her family said she was in a cult because she does things different, or the things that we say about not being qualified. This is an opportunity for you to explore what it means to lead from the soul instead of a stereotype. What does it mean to lead from the soul instead of a stereotype? And it's very easy to fall into an identity. I gave an example of how I have clients who range from the most cerebral and scientific, who are doctors and found themselves practicing, yet not satisfied, not really where they wanted to be, and actually trapped by student loans, trapped by the identity that was created. And so, but I also have had celebrity clients who are known as sex symbols, and they feel oppressed by it, yet at the same time can't get from under that particular label. So it's easy to fall into an identity or a way that you think that you're supposed to be. And it takes a very conscious and deliberate decision and intention to lead without the labels they gave you or the labels that are expected of you in a particular leadership role. In fact, it brings up a lot of why many people are reluctant leaders. So I do have some thought-provoking questions beyond how would I lead if no one would label me. I really want you to bring your voice to this, because in order to be the shift, that answer is in you. And the question that you get to consider is, what roles have you been performing instead of embodying your truth, your uniqueness? Who were you before someone told you to tone it down? Play it safe. Stay in your lane. A lot of times religion, and I'm not just talking one particular religion, a career choice, people who've been in the military, you get programmed to be a certain way, certain cultures, breaking free from cultural expectations. What if leadership isn't about your title? We're moving into a season where the parallel ladder, the proverbial climbing the corporate ladder, is dissolving. Leadership is much more circular now, which means that everyone has to tap into their feminine because the masculine is much more square. This is about an opportunity to say, what are the values that I want to transmit? I hear stories of women who hate being led by other women all of the time. And I have to say, there is a difference. I have heard stories of generational breakdown where many elders sometimes see younger women as their competition. Do you want to be that? I can tell you, as a Gen Xer working with boomers, being led by boomers, being mentored by boomers, sometimes it is abusive. And we as Gen Xers, my class, we get together, my high school class, we get together here in this area where I live, and we spend time together. And we sometimes laugh. We have the benefit of having a comedian, a national known comedian, stand-up comedian. So he's quick on the drop. And we talk about the abuse that we absorb on one hand, and then turn around and say, man, but look at what it made us. But think about that. So many Gen Xers have stories of how much we had to absorb. And this can even spill over into infertility with mothers and motherhood, because if you grow up with the idea, I do not want to be like my mother, I don't want a mother like that, I don't want to do that to my children, it does have, this is still leadership, it does have an effect. Where have you been seeking permission that you were born to revoke? Where have you been seeking the permission that you were born to revoke? What label have you outgrown, but are you still trying to squeeze into? What profits you from staying in a box that you did not design? I want you to think about that. And you know, every time I come, I bring you a quote. This one is from a disruptor, Angela Davis. She says, I am no longer accepting things I cannot change. I am changing the things that I cannot accept. I feel resonance with that. I'm changing the things that I cannot accept in me. I was just on the phone actually with my cousins, and we were talking about the senior people in our family, and some of them can be really difficult. And we were saying, and I say this to my sister too all the time. I said, you know, even when we're making observations, we have to make a choice how we're going to do better with our finances or how we communicate, that when people come to take care of us, that we don't fight them. I really want to lean in before I tap out and let you process this particular one. 3 is the number of wholeness. And sometimes you don't always need to be taught. There's something you just need to marinate in, because the answers are within you. I want you to consider, are you a reluctant leader? Yet you are the one that everybody comes to for the answers, but you still question your own authority. You have the vision and the gift and the wisdom and even the track record, the references. You have the degrees and the credentials, but something in you hesitates to take the mic, to stand up, to be seen, or make the money, honey. Attach the value to it. How about you, who you didn't ask to be in the spotlight, but spirit keeps on calling you forward anyway. And then people get uncomfortable with you and wonder, no, how did she get that? Why is she the one? And it can make those who are already not seeking it fall back. There are other reluctant leaders like Sojourner Truth. Even Maya Angelou, she said, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000, recognizing that her reluctant embodiment of ancestral power. These women didn't necessarily seek power. They were seeking to save their life from circumstances and situations or trauma, just like you. They answered their own question, but I want you to consider, why do I hesitate? It's not because you're lazy. What it is a trauma-informed response. Religious shame, trauma-informed in response. Lineage wounds, nobody made it out but me. So sometimes you can even have guilt, survivor's guilt, over responsibility. You really are doing too much because you're trying to prove that you are worth being in the position. Perfectionism. I'll wait till I'm healed. I'll wait till I'm certified. I'll wait till I'm ready. I'll wait till I get the clearance from the this one or the that one. Or spiritual bypass. Nah, it's not God. It's not time. So you put it back on God. Sorry, y'all know I'm looking for my baby. I got to keep my eye on her. And at the core, this reluctance hides a subconscious fear of persecution, rejection, isolation, especially for Black and Indigenous women whose ancestral memory includes being the workhorse, being sacrificed, being punished, being used. Sometimes what we're reacting to and other people's authority is lineage memories, DNA memories. And so this is an opportunity for you to break free, to call a thing, as my spiritual mother says, the Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant, call a thing. Call it what it is. Name your reluctance. And then declare that it no longer protects me and delays my purpose. It can't be protecting you. It can only be delaying you. How do you break free? Accept the assignment that's on your life uniquely as yours. Like Moses did at the burning bush, or Esther before the king. Leadership can be inconvenient. It can be an inconvenient assignment. And sometimes you don't always get paid, millennials, Gen Zers. Sometimes you pay your dues to get in the room, to get the coaching. I volunteered for years with the Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant before I ever hung out a shingle. Now people come into your programs and they want to become a leader and they've never been led fully. But nevertheless, they're doing it. Lead loud, mess up. Not every leader shouts. Not every leader is in the front, but every leader moves people to get it done. Let the ancestors speak to you in your leadership. Pull strength from those who came before you, whose backs you stand, and then redefine what leadership is. And tonight I want to leave you with an affirmation is I release the fear that leadership requires perfection. I accept that I was chosen not because I'm flawless, but because I'm faithful. I'm definitely not flawless, but I have been loyal. I don't have a problem serving. When I go to serve in my ELA, when I go to serve, I don't show up as Dr. Latanya or the Rev Coach or the Juicy Spirit Mama, the Priestess of Purpose, Pleasure, Passion, and Profits. I show up in the order and the protocol that is required for me to access sacred wisdom. And there are a lot of them. There are a lot of protocols when you step into becoming the priestess. This is why I always say, become the priestess of your own household. Because if you can be faithful over little, God will make you leader over much. That doesn't mean you're bossing people around. That means that you're waking up in the morning to pray. That means that you're scrubbing your walls sometimes with solutions that you mix with herbs. That means that sometimes you're in meditation for the very family member that cannot see you in those gifts. That you are doing it because God gave you the assignment to be the cultural custodian. You came here with your destiny. And the question is, are you in alignment with your destiny? When I go and another thing that I want to show you in terms of leadership, as phenomenal as you can be in one area, when you go to someone else's pulpit, we're told to respect the pulpit so that you can be invited back. That's not your house. You don't go in and do what you want to do. There are some rules to when you are moving and learning and starting. Can you be teachable, coachable, and trainer even after you have had great achievement? Can you? Because sometimes leadership is great followership. And it doesn't mean that you're losing anything. It means that you're learning a lot of things that you don't know that you don't know. And this is why our elders, our wisdom councils are so important. And if you don't have it, it's not being passed down verbally in your family, then you have to go and get it. That's what these traditions do. They prepare us and teach us. Far too many people are in leadership who don't want to be led themselves. That makes for a tyrant. That makes for a narcissist. So when we talk about being the shift in this new earth, in this new timeline, in this new paradigm shift that is happening for us, and with the Schumann resonance giving us DNA upgrades and having us up at night, can you read? Can you sing? Can you chant, journal? Can you burn ancestor money? Leadership is not always glamorous. In the front of the room with the microphone, with the spotlight. Mothers know this. Single mothers know it even more than sometimes those than other mothers, let's say that. So today, I want you to consider leading as you are, not as they expect you to be. For years, I was a reluctant leader. Yet I would always, since childhood, I would always get picked to have a leading position. And even when I do readings from, because when I still do archetypal readings here, there, all types. When I love taking them. At a certain point, they begin to tell you the same thing, confirming. Even today, we were doing names from the Ghanaian tradition, a Khan tradition, actually, which is based in Ghana. And the day of the week that you were born comes with an energy. And once again, it's the same energy that all the other readings said. You cannot escape your assignment, as uncomfortable sometimes as it may be. Why am I talking about this? Because when nobody is looking, do you know how to pray? Do you know how to be the shift for your own atmosphere? Today we were singing and dancing and teaching so much about music and alchemy. This is literally a science. So those of you who are cerebral, this is for this. All these words are for you. For those of you who are feelers, spiritual, you might be squirming on the inside because there's something that you are being called to do uniquely. It could be right where you are. So many of you think you have to lead. Why jump out of the frying pan into another kind of pot when you didn't show up there? And I know sometimes you can be in very trying circumstances. And there are going to be more people to join you in your woe is me, in your victim consciousness, in your unhappiness, I promise you. But as you begin to take the label off of difficulty and hurt and fear of rejection and all of that, certain things just won't apply to you anymore. And those conversations won't even be an energetic match. And notice how certain people won't even have anything to talk to you about after you stop complaining. They don't have your assignment. They didn't get your memo, but you did, because you've been served the memo today to be the shift. Now, I know we are moving in a very organic pace, but I do want to invite you to come into community in the portal. Just become a member in the portal to tap into all of the ways that you can continue to unpack and discover the feminine mystery messages that are inside of you. You can continue to tap into your spiritual gifts and intuition, and you can continue to journey. Take the shero's journey or the heroine's journey. And that is what we do in our community. You start at one place and you get access to the next and to the next at the level, because there's levels to this. The Shift Everything book and the 21-day Shift Everything process is not absolutely brand new. But we're in a brand new season, and universal principles are the same. And so I invite you to get ready to join us next week or whenever you watch this, because the Shift Everything 21-day process is timeless. It is designed to meet you where you are whenever you need to pour into your self when shift is happening, because shift is happening. So you may as well be the shifter. So I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Don't forget to comment below if you're watching on YouTube, like, share with your friends, with your good Judy, with your bestie, with your business bestie, with your grow partner. And if you don't have one, come get you one in the Rebirth community in the portal. See you on the other side.